Wizards Postgame Live.
You can feel the energy tonight for this Wizards team looking for their 6th win in a row with the return of Kristaps Porzingis and his 17 points. Of course, to go along with Bradley Beal's 21 points. Everybody was on fire, but nobody more than Turbo. Deni Avdija going off for a career-high 25 points, 9 boards. He had a block and a steal. By the way, knocking down both of the three-point shots he took tonight. You could feel it. It's been a really long time since the Wizards won down in San Antonio, so we can finally exhale. This one's on. Now we can move on from it. Welcome to Postgame Live. Coach Jimmy Patsos here with me. Chris, Drew, Megan coming up momentarily, and we will be hearing from Bradley Beal as well. But, Coach, I want your thoughts on this one. Seeing as the last time we were winning down there, we needed duct tape, water, Y2K, and we're watching the movies.
And Drew Gooden was at El Cerrito High School. I know where he went to school. What a great win. Anytime they needed a big bucket, it was Beal who got it. I love that was the Valpo play to end the half. Porzingis got it, hit him right in transition. Gets to and1. You saw how fired up Beal was. See, I love that when your captain's that emotional.
Yes.
And halftime. This is 6 in a row. We won 7. We're going to Detroit. Detroit and San Antonio, they're worried about Victor and Scoot and the Thompson twins and Miller at Alabama. Those are draft picks. We're worried about the playoffs. We're worried about moving up. We're moving on up. We're getting out of the play-in. Everybody's playing great. I thought Kispert had a good third quarter. But Deni Avdija, his engine was roaring tonight. He played it. Everything he did was tough and hard. And I think the organization, Tommy Shepard, and the owners deserve a lot of credit for saying, Rui's now gone. We loved him and we'll miss him. But it's your show off the bench, and he has responded well.
Coach, looking at this box score tonight, if you didn't watch the game and just looked at the box score, you'd be like, what was going on? Check this out. 56% from the field, the Wizards are. 53% from 3, 88 from the charity stripe, and held the Spurs to 19 points in the second and in the fourth quarter. Coach, it wasn't pretty early, but they got the job done down the stretch.
Yeah, they absolutely played well down the stretch. And like I said, they finished the half good. And it's a 5-game road trip. You know, you've still been on the road for four games already, but it's 8 days. And now you got to go to Detroit. The good news is Monte Morris and Kuzma will be close to Flint, so they'll have some friends there. But you just got to keep playing well because the standings are moving. The Pacers have their issues, not our problem. Knicks have their issues, not our problem. Just keep winning, climbing the standings. But we're feeling good. If you didn't feel the energy and how great a game that was to watch, it wasn't perfect early, but I was excited. You could see Beal was excited for Deni and KP. You hear him calling on my brother. You see DeLon Wright high-fiving. Like, as a college guy and a former head coach, that's what happens when you start winning. Let's keep it going.
You, contagious. Confidence is such. Well, right now we got Megan McPeak with Bradley Beal after this big win for the Wizards down in San Antonio.
All right, Brad. When we were in New Orleans, you mentioned coming here because we haven't won since the 99 and the 2000s. How does it feel to snap that streak?
Man, first praise my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. This is amazing. This feels good. You know, we've been playing really good basketball. It was even better to be able to get a win in this building. We haven't won here in ages. So to crack that seal over, and that definitely feels good. We're gonna enjoy this one and get ready for Detroit.
With Philly losing earlier tonight, you guys officially have one of the longest winning streaks in the NBA active right now. Talk about what is working offensively and defensively that is clicking since this 2023 year has turned over.
It's really our defense. And the biggest thing is getting guys back healthy. We knew that once we get our guys back, we give ourselves a legit chance of seeing what we're like and how we can compete on the nightly. And we've been doing that. And thankfully, we've been bringing it on the defensive end. We're a talented offensive team. We have so much versatility on that end, and everybody's able to do so much stuff and contribute to the team. But when we're locked in on defense, we're a really tough team to beat. So, you know, the offense becomes that much easier for us.
You're still a young player, but you were once in Deni's place in this league trying to figure out how you can have an impact. Talk about the night he had tonight and just the confidence that he's playing with right now.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. We call him Turbo. That's his new nickname we're going with now. But he's taking that step, man. That's what you have to do as a young player. It's tough, as you said, because you're trying to find your niche. You're trying to find your way. You want to be known as, you know, someone specific, and he came out tonight, and he was super aggressive. You know, he's been aggressive over the last 6-7 games we played in. You know, so we love that part of him. We love his aggression. That's who he is, and we need him to continue to do that for us.
Enjoy this one because you got Detroit coming up soon, Brad.
You know it. Thank you.
Shout out to Brad giving the dub as we bring in Chris and Drew. Guys, tonight, obviously a lot of different storylines to talk about, including Turbo. And as you said during the broadcast, not Turbo and Ozone from Breaking. And shout out to Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo. That was my movie. But the young guy went off tonight. I mean, come on. This was Denny's night, was it not, Drew?
This is the best we've seen Denny Avdia play in a Wizards uniform, and it didn't take that long for him to have this type of game because we've seen him creeping and getting closer to that ceiling of potential as of late when he talked about the games he had coming into this ball game, and then him putting the icing on the cake tonight with a win, snapping that losing streak since 1999. Didn't he even born then? so I just love what I saw tonight from him. You're seeing the growth, you're seeing the development, and all the hard work paying off. I mean, Denny Avdia has had some frustrating nights in a Wizards jersey, and as of late, I have not seen him play this confident, excuse me, with the flow, the pace, the speed, and the sense of urgency on both ends of the floor. I tell you what, who was really impressed was Coach Popovich. Every time Denny Avdia made a move or did something nice at the rim or got a stop on the defensive end, Pop was just looking at him in amusement, was just amazed that, wow, he's come a long way. So I hope he wasn't licking his chops too much, because Denny will be a free agent here in a couple summers.
Please don't speak that into existence. Just stop. Denny started 1 for 3.
He balled out tonight.
Yeah, he started 1 for 3, finished 9 for 9 from the field, and our statistician Paul Evans just sent me this. Avdia was a plus 25 in 33 minutes. So when he was out there on the floor, he was making an impact, guys, not only offensively, but once again that we've noticed from Denny from his rookie year. He accepts the assignment of guarding the other team's best player. And now offensively, there is something about the confidence that this young man has of getting the ball off of the backboard and pushes tempo. And the fact that he's bodying players now, he's using his size to his advantage finally. And this is all a part of that confidence that I think Drew has talked about. Listen, you make a trade and it opens up an opportunity for someone. Sometimes people don't take advantage of that. This kid is taking full opportunity of it, and not only is it Denny's success, but this team is now a season-high 6-game winning streak. They get it done here in San Antonio. We've talked about how long it's been since they've won here, and now they have an opportunity in a couple of days to come back home, winners of 5 straight on the road. If I would have told you guys that before this road trip started, you wouldn't believe me, but there's something about winning.
Yeah. Hey,
look how these guys are turbo dance and chest bumping. The greatest deodorant in sports is winning.
Quick fact check real quick. Denny has been a plus 50 since the trade, and then he was not born before 1999. He was actually born after 1999 in 2001.
At this point of journalism, you normally credit the people that gave you that stat.
Shout out Rich Wolf, our producer.
Thank you.
Hey, Drew Gooden was an Oakland Soldier at El Cerrito High School. Chris was covering another Oakland Soldier. That would be LeBron James in high school last time he won. But do you think, Drew and Chris, you're on this trip, beating a really good Luka Doncic and Dallas team, was that like a key moment to say, like, that was the best team on this trip? Was that a huge win? Tell us. You guys were there. I wasn't.
Yep.
Listen, whenever you win the first game on a road trip, is a plus. It sets the tone. You got a momentum shift going forward, and you're starting to put games in the bank. There's going to be some times where you're going back-to-back on those road trips. Negative 20 outside, you can't get up to play, you kind of get off to a slow start. You might not win the game, but it's all right. You won that first game of that trip, and you can make it up on the back end. And for the Wizards to get off to such a tremendous start, keeping that win streak alive from home and letting it travel in their suitcases here in Texas, there in New Orleans. And now, guess what? You got Detroit to go up there and finish. It looks good, what I'm seeing with the Wizards in their future.
I just noticed that Dallas trip, as Drew said, really kind of set the tone, but I'm going to give the Wizards credit. I thought the Rockets game was probably the best game on this trip because they were down by as many as 19 points in the first half, and the way that Houston plays, it's an Jimmy, an AAU type style, and teams kind of get seduced by that because they're like, oh, they're just running and gunning, they're not running sets, they're just out here just playing basketball. And the Wizards got caught in that, I thought, the first 24 minutes, and then those veterans came up and said, okay, enough. It's the Houston Rockets. We know what they're doing. And then they take that momentum against the New Orleans Pelicans. I mean, these wins, I thought the Pels and the Mavericks games was those two games on the trip where you go, I don't know, and they were able to win those.
The Rockets, too. I mean, being, down 19 points?
Yeah.
And then coming back, having to win that ball game by double digits. I mean, they've been in some situations.
Guys, is it me? And please, by all means, Chris and Drew, correct me, Coach, same way if I'm wrong on this. Have you noticed a change in the style and speed of this team since the trade? And especially looking at Brad since he's come back, have you noticed that he's adjusted his style too? What do you make of that, Drew?
What dictates this team's speed is how well they get stops on the other end. They get rebounds. Multiple guys can get the ball off the glass and push it. Denny Avdia, Kyle Kuzma, Bradley Beal, you name it. Probably with the exception of Porzingis. You might not want Porzingis grabbing the defensive rebound, pushing the break, but I love how anybody can be the point guard by committee. It doesn't have to be Monte Morris, people rubbernecking after defensive rebound trying to find him. No. They have guys that have the ability to push the ball on the break and get things cracking in transition. And when you look at the big three tonight, look at the numbers. This is solid. And this is just enough. When you play teams like the San Antonio Spurs, young teams, you're going to have nights like this, especially when you got guys off the bench like Denny Avdia scoring 20 what?
The rebounds and the assists really kind of tell the numbers of the three best players on the team and what they were able to do tonight. And you got to give credit to Washington coming in here against this Spurs team that is dead last in the league. They're giving up 122 points per game. So there were opportunities to score tonight. And for Denny Avdia to be the leading scorer really speaks to the depth of this team when they are whole. Wes, you remember me saying this a couple of weeks ago. Judge the Wizards when they're whole.
Yeah.
Now they're whole. Now we can look at this team and see what they have.
I'm impressed by it. And again, as ironic as it may be, tonight was without Gafford. So again, trying to find this team at its whole, this is what we're getting. I'm excited about the Detroit game. We know about the Michigan boys returning home. We've seen Kyle Kuzma send those Piston homes waving goodbye before. So, gentlemen, I'm looking forward to that. And I'm going to say goodbye to you both right now. So appreciate it and safe travels. We'll see you in Detroit in a couple of days. Coach Patos, you and I, we get to talk about the return of Porzingis. We knew that we were excited about possibly seeing him and Gaff together, but Gaff was out tonight with non-COVID illness. So it was on the Unicorn. Unicorn almost gives you another double-double because it seems to be what he's able to do.
He's playing happy. Look, Porzingis wants to be part of the winning thing, too. You know, he had his critics in Dallas, okay? Wasn't sure, you know, is he a bust after New York? He looks happy. He's healthy. And everyone said this. And, Wes, you and I said this the night that I was here with you and then he got traded. What's his availability?
Yeah.
Well, he's like, I'm coming back on this trip. I'm not just going to cash it in and wait till I get back in D.C. I want to join my team out there. The fellas are having fun. I want in. Gafford goes out. It's even more critical because of that, because he's a shot blocker and he's a presence. I will say this. His brother out there, Denny, and I say that because when Denny Avdia was interviewed by Megan coming off, he said, KP's my brother. He showed me around. And Denny provided a lot of toughness tonight.
Yeah.
Because, as you know, I was a little nervous as a coach with no Gafford because he's kind of a mean dude in there, and I like that. And he's a rim. He'll dunk on you. He'll block shots.
We'll call him the landlord.
And he might even say something while he's doing it. I think that's okay. Not everybody does.
Yeah.
But I was a little concerned. Well, Porzingis comes out and makes his size a presence and plays well. But Denny gave you the toughest combined. I thought that answered the no Gafford.
It was such a balance because Denny Young with the run, you know, he's young and the Spurs are young, so he runs with them. But Porzingis being a bit more of a veteran, keeps things calm, keeps everybody steady.
And I just love that he wanted to come back. He could have said, oh, I'll wait till the road trip's over or the Spurs aren't any good. No, I'm ready, Coach. I want in.
Get on the train. Don't wait for it to pull into the station. Well, speaking of everybody enjoying this win tonight, how about head coach Wes Unseld Jr. at the post-game podium right now?
You know, every streak comes to an end. So it was good for us to get on the road with victory. I like the way we, you know, were able to accomplish that. You know, another night we're high assists. He had 7 guys in double figures. Our defense got progressively better, you know, throughout the game, and especially in that fourth quarter. So, yeah, you never want to be on the losing end of that streak, but it's good to get that one off our chest.
Can you kind of put the 6 wins now? I have the number right this time.
You said 7, so
in context, just for how this season has gone for you guys, just it feels like it's been really consistently streaks on either end.
You're right. I mean, well, you know, there's certain reasons to an extent. And part of it is just, you know, this group has finally found a rhythm and balance, and we're getting healthy. That allows us to, you know, have our whole complement and compete at a high level. I mean, I think this road trip has been not only good for us, you know, in the win column, but good for our psyche, because we struggled early in the season on the road, and to kind of, you know, rattle a few off, I think that's, you know, giving us more confidence. We're able to play maybe with a little chip on our shoulder.
What has Denny been doing? It doesn't seem like his role has been that different coming off the bench. His minutes are maybe a little bit more, but
Just his level of aggression, and I think that it's paid dividends because he's starting to benefit, you know, by playing downhill, getting to the rim. He's finishing, you know, at a much better clip, getting to the free throw line. So it's allowing him to get to, you know, some easy points at times, but you know, he's figuring it out. You know, I think early in the year his finishing wasn't great. I've seen a huge uptick in that area, and I think that's really helped him.
sorry to be annoyingly specific, but when you talk about aggressive aggression, is it like decision to shoot? Is it attacking the basket more in drives?
Yeah, I mean, some of it is attacking in transition, attacking the basket on drives, getting downhill and pick and rolls, but it's more the quick decisions, you know, where he's not overthinking it. You know, he's making the right play at the right time if that's what it needs. If he feels like he's got an angle, he can attack, he's going to do that.
You mentioned the road victory. Seemed like y'all are doing a whole lot better this season on the road. Is that sort of a sign of the maturity and the comfort your players are having? I mean, obviously it's difficult to win on the road, but
Sure.
y'all seem to be doing it.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. You know, I thought last year, you know, when your best player misses half the year, it's tough. But, you know, we've had several stretches where we've missed guys this year, and I think, you know, a lot of teams are going through it. But I think it's, you know, guys have kind of settled in and figured out each other's rhythm, flow. And there's been a consistency, I think, with our overall defense, which has really helped us offensively.
I saw Pop take you aside. I'm sure he always has nice wise things to say. What was the gist of what he shared with you?
He shared a story about my dad. It's pretty funny and crass at the same time. So it's I could literally hear him say what he said to Pop. Good?
Thanks, Coach.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
I like that too, Coach. And Coach Wes Hunter Jr. at the post-game podium. Coming up on the other side in 90 seconds, we're going to have some turbo talk. Denny Avdia with a career-high 25 points tonight. Megan McPeak's going to join us on post-game live to celebrate what the young pup has done down in San Antonio. Post-game live back in a moment on NBC Sports Washington. Welcome back to Wizards post-game live. Big win down in San Antonio, led by Denny, a.k.a. Turbo Avdia. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to the youngster. 25 points on the night, 9 boards as well. Shout out to him. Career high scoring tonight. All smiles all around. Early tonight, which was like a couple of minutes ago, Megan McPeak catching up with Turbo after the game.
Offensively, you in the second half continued what you were doing in the first half, and you managed to just pick apart their defense. What were you seeing in that second half?
As I said in your first half, nothing. Hey, to the John Wall. Don't do that. Oh, no, we're good. Just being aggressive and just taking advantage of my size and, you know, great shooting night. And my teammates really helped me out, also finding me in different situations, and they love me. They want the best of me, so I'm just shout out to them, and I'm just want to keep going.
Late in that fourth quarter, you had a foul, and KP came up to you, pointed to both sides of your head. Just talk about the relationship you have with him.
Yeah, KP's my brother. I mean, I don't remember this good of a relationship from like a teammate in a long time. I mean, I love all the guys, but KP really embraced me, and like, you know, we're going to eat on the road all the time. We're talking to each other all the time. When I'm down, he sent me messages on WhatsApp and like, hey, pick your head up, Denny. So he's a great vet, and hopefully we'll continue this relationship.
Congrats on the game and another double-double, Denny.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Chris?
You have to love that. It's all about team, Megan. I love to hear it. But you know what we should do? We should take the time to define Turbo, because yes, I'm enjoying laughing with people on Twitter talking about Turbo and Ozone, but here it is, the actual definition. Powerful, last 4 games, averaging almost 10 rebounds per game. Energetic, The man runs 91.2 miles covered this season. That's the third on the team, just so you know. And exciting, 69 fast break points this season, second on the team. Powerful, energetic, and exciting. That is Turbo. And Turbo is Denny Avdi. And Megan, you spoke to him just moments ago. How impressive is it to see his maturation over these last 3 games alone?
Well, aside from one day on one of those long road trips earlier in the season when I was actually having brunch with Denny, this is probably the most I've talked to him in a whole day. I've interviewed him 3 times today. When you look at after shoot-around, halftime, and then, of course, that walk-off, the maturation with which he has been really, really impressive. And that was something he said to me this morning, and I had mentioned it on broadcast with Chris and Drew, is the fact that he has said that when it comes to his development and his growth, it's not just going to be a quick sprint. I've got to just accept the fact that it's going to be little by little. And he said since he has done that, he's gained confidence. And that's a huge thing for a young player. I even asked Brad that as well, too, when I asked him about Denny and being a young player and the confidence that he's seeing from him and what he's been able to do. And yes, it has been since the trade, but even Brad said himself, it's been the last 6 or 7 games for Denny that the confidence has really grown and blossomed. For whatever reason, Denny is just playing within himself and has figured out how to use his 6'9" frame. I feel like people in this league do not truly realize that 6'9" on paper, when it comes to Denny Avdia, he is a true 6'9", close to a 6'10". Like, I stand beside him, and I can feel that he is a true 6'9". And I don't think guys understand or realize how big he really is until they see him on the floor and have to defend him. And I think that's what the San Antonio Spurs defense experienced tonight, because they just didn't have something for him to try and stop him. As I said, he was picking apart their defense throughout the game, but especially in that second half.
I appreciate the way that he just turned it on, and that's what we've been waiting to see from him. I want to encourage Wizards fans at home right now. Why don't you go ahead and pull out your phone, see that QR code right there on the screen? Simple question. The nickname Turbo. Do you love it, or does it need a little bit of tweaking? Now, here's my vote. I love it. But you can go to NBCSportsWashington.com/vote.
Here's the thing.
Yes?
The nickname is sticking. It's the celebration that Denny is willing to have an adjustment on. He's not sure if he likes the rev of the engine. The nickname Turbo is sticking. He said he loves that nickname. It's the celebration that he wants help with.
Well, I know he loves it. I
Coach, you know, we're saying when we win 6 games, don't touch anything.
Don't touch anything, Coach.
Don't touch anything.
Well, answer me this, Coach. How valuable, as a coach, how valuable is confidence when you are able to hand it to and imbue a player with it?
That's a great question. And you heard Wes Unseld say it. He's finishing. He's finishing because he has confidence he's not coming out. He's doing the dirty work and rebounding, but he's not pressing. He doesn't have to impress him. The organization has said, you're our guy. Remember, his contract's not available for 2 more years. So this year and next year, we love you, we want you, we need you. You're, by the way, a very important part of this relationship with Porzingis is we want KP to stay. I heard from my sources Porzingis is very happy in D.C., loves the organization. Well, Denny's his best friend. That helps. And, you know, Beal, of course, is the best player on the team. We want to keep Kuzma. This team is coming around, but this guy is a glue guy that does a lot of dirty work. And, Wes, you were talking, because Sochan has a funny hairdo, I love his style, but it's different. You were talking about the Dennis Rodman days.
Yeah.
Like, you had to work through some things with Rodman, but all he did was help you win. Right. And he did a lot of things that not everybody else wants to do. Besides scoring, to me, Denny's the guy that does a lot of our dirty work. Fair enough?
Yes, yes, especially understanding that in transition, you take it out of the net or take it off the rim and you go. That's part of the whole Turbo thing.
And they've lived through some of his growing things, like your friend Rodman. Wes was giving a dissertation about Rodman's career, and you were right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Wes.
Yes.
Hey, Wes,
yes.
For this poll, let me give a little context for the fans that might not have seen the interview that I did with Denny in pregame. So him and Monte were playing one-on-one after practice one day. And if you have ever played NBA 2K, you've heard the term before, turbo. It's something that happens when you just continue to attack and attack and attack, and you get into turbo mode. It's a button and a cheat code, if you will, that you can use. Monte Morris said, Denny, all you want to do is be in turbo mode, and that is where turbo came from. So he got the nickname from Monte Morris. That's who gets the credit for turbo. So the nickname is sticking, fans. That's the context. It came from 2K.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, look, I'm a 2K dude. I get it every year. I stay on Turbo, that and Madden as well. But, Coach, when we're looking at this whole no, trust me, I got video games at home. I'm going to probably be playing later on tonight, and I'm probably going to stick Denny in there and run up 25 again. But when we look at not just him, the entire roster, we had 7 players in double figures and now in back-to-back games, Megan. What is that showing you about this team, not just chemistry, but about the productivity on the road?
I mean, they're willing sharers of the basketball. It's not just coming down to a Monte Morris being a guy who wants to facilitate. It's not coming down to a Kyle Kuzma or a Bradley Beal who wants to facilitate. It's coming down to 1 through 15 and guys understanding if I move without the basketball, my teammate is going to find me. And if I'm not open at the moment they find me, I can find the next guy. The swing pass that sometimes we see for corner threes or the hockey assist, if you will. These guys are willing to play with and for each other, and I think that is what we're seeing right now and why we're seeing multiple players on a consistent basis on the road score in double figures consistently. And I think that it's coming down to simply wanting to play and win for each other, point blank period.
Coach, another thing that comes to mind is Houston, young team, Spurs, young team, Detroit's coming up, they're a young team as well. We've talked about, and actually Drew, I'll give Drew credit for saying this. He's like, stop playing with your food. What is it about this part of the year where the Wizards have finally figured out, you know what? If we're better than that team tonight, we're going to go out and do our job and finish it.
Because they got I'm a big optimist, positive guy. They got a positive outlook. Wes Unseld Jr. did a fantastic job. I wrote this down. He kept his composure during that tough streak. Okay? It's not easy losing. Everybody can say you lost by 3 or you played the Heat tough twice or you had a turnover, but you're really fighting hard. When you're a coach, you want to win. And he took that responsibility, and I thought Wes Unseld's been tremendous with his composure. I do think the two-headed monster of DeLon Wright and Monte Morris, I don't want to talk about it much because I don't want to jinx them.
Right.
See, I'm nervous because we won 6 in a row. I want to keep winning. Those two guys have been tremendous. They don't even get enough credit. I don't want them getting any credit because it might ruin how they're playing. They have been a fantastic tandem together. One's defense, one's long. Monte's quick and can score. They don't really care who gets the credit. You know, you got Beal Porzingis, you got all these other names. I just think those two have been tremendous during this whole run since they're playing together. I'm really a big fan of the Morris-DeLon Wright duo.
I am. Speaking of Morris, how about his other Michigan brother, that would be Kyle Kuzma, as we look at this Detroit game coming up, Megan. What do they have to do to finish 5-0 on this road trip?
Be consistent with what you've been doing on this road trip. It's really that simple. Like, when you think of it, guys, you both have played sports. You've coached in sports, Coach Patsos. Basketball can be a very simple game. When you do what you know to your strengths and you try to limit your weaknesses. We have seen on this road trip and in this 6-game win streak, when the Wizards play to their strengths, which is getting out in transition, getting the ball off the rim, pushing the tempo, trying to get something quick, and then if they don't have it, running their sets, playing through each other, they can have success offensively. And defensively, when there are 5 guys on a string and they're talking, there's high communication, they're walling up guys, they're knowing their personnel, which is something Coach Unseld has consistently been saying on this road trip, is KYP. When they do their strengths to the best of their ability and they limit their weaknesses, they can play with the best of them. So I think when you go into Motown and you take on this young Detroit Pistons team, you've got to do the same thing. Don't do what you did tonight. Don't give a team that is young confidence. Don't give a coach in Dwayne Casey, who's been around the NBA for a very long time, confidence in his young guys. Scare them. Make them nervous. Make them want to play to you. Kyle Kuzma said it on the West Coast road trip, and I'm going to keep reiterating it. Stop playing to teams. Make teams play and adjust to you. When they've done that, which they have on this 6-game win streak, they have had success.
Indeed, and make sure you put on a show for your people. Again, you got 2 Michigan boys going back to Detroit. I'm excited to see.
Hey, Megan family, your family's coming there. They better win for them.
Hey, pending the weather, Mom and Dad McPeak are making the trip.
That's what's up. We'll make sure they have safe travels and hope that weather holds off for them. Megan, we appreciate you. As always, Wizards fans, tonight was a special night, including off-the-court antics that involved that pink sweater. This time it was the Coyote, but the Spurs trying to get in on it. It's okay, because guess what? On the other side, we're going to take a look at our FanDuel best bets of the night. You do not want to miss this one. Woo, confidence is high on PostGame Live. Hey, Wizards fans, not only are we excited about a win down in San Antonio, but guess what? The day after the Wizards score 115 or more points, which they did tonight, you get 50% off regular menu price pizzas at papajohns.com with the code WIZ50. Coach, I'm happy. I got something to do tomorrow. Give me a half off regular menu price. I'm just saying. You can always get me right with food. But anyway, as we look on the rest of this night, we can take a look at our FanDuel best bets for the night, Coach. Things that make us happy. Because, you know, around here, we try to make every moment more. If you would have come into tonight's game and said that Kristaps Porzingis was going to get the first basket, which we ask here off the show every night, and as a dunk, that's plus 4,000. A $10 bet would have won you $400. Wow. Bradley Beal, 3 or more threes at plus 410. A $10 bet would have won you $41. Man, I got to talk about Kristaps Porzingis for a second. Plus 4,000?
Our friend Zach over there is very happy, our producer.
Woo-wee. Yeah, he called Porzingis tonight. Didn't get the dunk, but he did call Porzingis. But look at Porzingis' box tonight. First game back after a couple of games. 17 points, 9 boards, 7 assists. Coach, 5 blocks. Gafford had 5 blocks last game. Now, KP comes back in Gaff's absence, gives you 5 blocks.
Wes said, I said he had a triple-double. Wes said, no. I said, no, I'm adding the blocks and the steals in. So he had a triple-double. Outstanding effort.
Absolutely. And he even had the tape on the hand thing tonight. Like, how do you gauge his return like that?
Because he's proving the doubters wrong, that he's a durable guy, that he's happy here. He's actually helping Denny come along. Gafford's out. He's going to play. He's a willing passer. You know, he's been tremendous. And, you know, we didn't get to know him much last year because he came at the end and played well. But I really got to know him in September, just watching him. I don't know him like that, but talking to him. He's a Latvian. I coached Srunas Jasikevičius, one of the great Lithuanians ever. Right away, oh, yes, I know him. He's an interesting guy. He knows the sport. He knows the history of it. He's a heck of a player, but he can do a lot of things. And Latvia and Lithuania, that's like a really basketball-rich tradition area. They know how to play the game, and he's really showing it. He's showing his enthusiasm. I like the way he's moving around, but I just love that he came back tonight and said, I'm not waiting to get better in D.C. Gafford's out. You need me. I'm there. That's a big sign.
And I love the fact that he helps Denny along. You get 2 Euro guys. They both understand the Euro game. It all works together for us. But right now, I want to take us into the locker room because we've got Kristaps Porzingis in the postgame right now.
He's getting in a good rhythm. I think he has less pressure of if I make a mistake, I'm not coming out, you know, and that gives you a bit more freedom. And yeah.
Because of the trade?
I don't know. I think it's multiple things, not just because of the trade. I think he's been heading towards this. Sooner or later, he was gonna get here. And it's you know, things are working for him. He's figuring out his game, like where he's good at, and I love to see it for him. I'm so excited, and yeah, as I said, his energy is contagious for us, and whenever he's hooping, we're a different team.
I know that you helped him come up with the nicknames. Where did the motorcycle start?
I don't know if I came up with it. I think it was Delon, honestly. In the locker room, we were sitting after practice one day, and we were just thinking of some nicknames, and he was making up some bad ones, and then somebody said Turbo, and he's like, oh, Turbo. And we all kind of like, at first we're like, yeah, yes, and now he's embracing it, doing a Turbo and all that, so we're having fun with it, and I think, yeah, he's also enjoying having that like alter ego on the court almost.
Shout out to him talking about the nicknames. I need a Wizards fan to like tweet me a nickname for every player on the roster. I think that'd be kind of fun to check out. But on the other side, speaking of guys with nicknames, how about we jump in the film room and talk about Panda, aka Blue Magic, aka Real Deal Beal. Yes, Bradley Beal on PostGame Live.
NBC Sports Washington, your home of the Wizards.
It's the Wizards Friday night concert series, and it concludes with Rick Ross, Ja Rule on Friday, February 3rd, following the game against the Portland Trail Blazers. You can purchase your tickets right now using that QR code on your screen and enjoy all your favorite hits. You got Aston Martin Music, Magnificent, Sorry, Ja Rule got Always on Time. A lot of hits, a lot of songs that you will enjoy. But right now, I want to take a look back at our bold predictions on the night, brought to you by Greenberg and Betterman. Remember, you can go to gblawyers.com and feel better better. We said Corey Kispert's going to knock down 50% from three-point range. And look at us getting it right again tonight. 4 for 7 from the youngster. We appreciate that, Corey Kispert. Thank you again. These bold predictions brought to you by Greenberg and Betterman, gblawyers.com, and Feel Better. Coach, are you ready to go into the film room?
I am. I want to say Kispert hit a lot of big ones in the third quarter when they took away the Spurs' heart. I thought they might come back. He hit 2 of those threes in the second and the third quarter that were important. Here's Beal, just moving without the ball, and see how easy it is for Porzingis. See, he's such a good player. He's a good passer, too. That's just off the catch. That's just pure. But he moved without the ball. Defender turns his head. Now he's coming off the ball screen. What a pass. Morris takes his time. Back to Beal, baseline underneath. That's just a tough bucket. That's just a tough two-pointer.
That's Brad.
But see, he took his time, and Morris gave it back. Once again, gave it up, moved without the ball. This is the Valpo play where Bryce Drew beat Missouri, okay? That's what everyone calls this. Porzingis catches it, once again, knows the basketball. He knows what to do. Give it a Beal without anybody stopping. Okay, if someone's open in the corner, no problem. I love Beal's emotion here. All fired up, going into halftime, and they go up 8. See, it's nice going up 8 instead of 5.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. As a coach, you're like, you executed it well, and you got an and one, and you showed the emotion, and that's why the team was so happy in the third and fourth quarter, because their leader, our fearless leader and best player, was all excited going into half to be up 8.
I love the inversion of what Brad's game was tonight. So he had 14 in the first half. He only had 7 in the second half. But then other games we've seen him do the small scoring in the first, big in the second half. But the reason I bring this point up is you see the leadership style shifting. It's I do what's necessary, what's required.
I could circle his baskets that were critical. Like they made a run, Beal hit a shot. We fouled by accident at the end of the half, probably not the best thing to do. Beal gets a 3-point play. They cut it to 6, West calls timeout, Beal hits a 3 coming out. He had 3 or 4 critical moments, real deal Beal, that made sure the Spurs didn't get too much confidence. That's what a veteran leader does.
And you know what else he does? He finishes by the rim. Kind of reminds me of another guy that used to play here by the name of Rod Strickland, who was excellent at finishing right under the rim. So shout out to you, Brad, for doing that. But this guy, Drew, good and honored tonight in San Antonio. Don't adjust your TVs. That's the actual footage. It was a long time ago, and Drew knows I love him, so I get to make these jokes. But shout out to Drew doing his thing tonight for us on our broadcast. We always appreciate him being a part of our Wizards family here at NBC Sports Washington. On the other side, we're getting you ready for Detroit, the Pistons. Back. Hey, Wizards fans, what's better than 5 wins in a row? How about Kristaps Porzingis' jersey number? That's the answer, and we'll see you Wednesday night, 6:30, for Wizards Pistons, wrapping up Game 5 on this 5-game road trip. I would say West Coast, but Detroit's not on the West Coast, so we're going to show some love, but we will be seeing if Monte and Kuz can see if we can make 6 in a row. Coach, with that in mind, I want to go ahead and close out tonight's live vote. We asked people earlier today what they thought about the nickname Turbo. Do you love it or does it need any tweaking? And overwhelmingly, 90% of people said we love Turbo. And again, because of the PlayStation or Xbox or gaming console controller version, not Electric Boogaloo or Breakin', which I will be watching when I get home tonight because why not? Your thoughts on Detroit? How do we get a win up there, Coach?
Look, Sadiq Bey, great player here at Sidwell Friends is there. They got Bogdanovich. And for those you want to see Jaden Ivey, remember, he was the sophomore sensation for Purdue. But the Wizards got to go in with confidence. This is a game you got to win because we're moving up. The Pistons are going after a different direction, but we're playing well. Hopefully Gafford's back. And I want to say, Michelle and Frankie up there in Baltimore, thanks for watching.
Hey, man, there's that song from the movie. Ain't no stopping now, no stopping. See, now I got all the songs. No one does it better. Shout out to Electric Boogaloo. Anyway, on behalf of our great crew and staff here at NBC Sports Washington, for the Coach Jimmy Patsos, I'm Wes Hall. I'm about to go watch some Breakin' because of Turbo. Enjoy your night. We'll see you Wednesday night for Wizards Pistons. Enjoy the dub. Ain't no stopping now, no stopping. No one knows.